want to paint you a picture. Picture a boy lying down on dusty hardwood floor in an empty room, curled into a ball and quietly sobbing. He holds a blanket between his tiny infant-like hands, his index finger curled up just below one of the corners, which he tucks into his mouth and bites down in to stifle the short, stifling wheezes he makes as he exhales. His hair is cut by an amateur, and, while still in a neat bowl shape at the edges, the strands that make up the body of the style are askewed and disheveled, having not seen a loving brush in days. His onesie, a pale blue thing with a trapdoor and an embroidered teddy bear holding balloons on its chest, is filthy with 3 days of grime. It goes without saying that his eyes are squeezed tight, tears streaming down his cheeks. The quiet creak breaks the silence, and a shadow of light falls over the boy in an ever-widening rectangle. Inside the door-shaped box, the outline of a man comes closer and closer, its right hand holding a long, phallic-shaped thing that casts its own shit-colored silhouette. The man-shape disappears into the dark until only its legs are visible as the thing behind it coughs once, twice, and noisily draws breath, staggered by the presence of mucus in its throat. Is this boy in trouble? Is it night? Or is it daytime? Let me try this again. A man sits across from you at a diner, telling you a story about a boy in a room lying on the floor. He then says that a man enters the room and, with some poetic license, describes the brown bottle he's holding. Did you picture a bottle of beer or a medicine bottle? Did you picture a balding, obese man with a black ring of hair and a thick mustache? Is he wearing a white tank top style undershirt? Is it stained at the chest? Does he have black hair? What do you imagine he's going to do to that child? I don't know you, but I can hazard a guess that you were picturing all the wrong things, and it's okay. It's expected of you these days. After all, what would the media say if you pictured a doctor bringing a boy medicine in a third world country? Was it the onesie with the teddy bear? Or is it that you've been so geared towards the negative that you can't imagine anything but a pedophile? I bet you're wondering about the gun. You know, the one under the table I presently have aimed at your crotch. Well, it's not much to wonder about. Before we're finished here this evening, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to pull a trigger, and you will, literally or figuratively, be dead. Well, which trigger is up to you, but one is getting pulled tonight. Allow me to supply you with a little exposition. Let me paint you another picture. You have 2 guns pointed at you. One of them is quite literal, and as I've already explained, presently poised to make gender identification a little more difficult. The other is more abstract, but it's positioned at the door of this diner and is set to fire before you walk out the door. It knows you. It's seen your face and is set to fire only at you. In essence, you find yourself in a classic catch-22. No matter what happens here tonight, no matter what choices you make, you are screwed. The path that leads you to the first gun, the literal gun, is cut in stone. If you refuse to participate in this little exercise, or by result of action and choice fail to arrive at the conclusion of this little exercise, I will pull the trigger. I'm not concerned with the consequences, only that my part in our game is resolved. The path that leads you to the second conclusion is simple. Play the game and win. Failure leads to certainty. Victory is more abstract. Do you understand? This is the game. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, which you will then respond to non-verbally. You may either shake your head for no or nod your head for yes. You may not speak. You may not shrug. If you attempt to alert anyone to the circumstances you currently face, the game will end for both you and them. You can get up and walk out anytime you wish, but remember that the second gun is an abstract concept now, but could in fact be a shining reality should you exit before this game is over. You may blink if you need more coffee. Let's begin. Question 1. Do you want the gun I'm holding? If you take it, you can shoot me and exit, or simply place it in your pocket and exit. You could take this gun and walk down to the nearest convenience store and put it in the face of the cashier and demand all the money in the register. You could take it home and find your lover in bed with another person. You can have this gun. Do you want it? No? Of course you don't. What guarantee do you have that I'll give it to you? None. And for all you know, I'm a deranged psychopath who would have killed you had you said yes. But that shows distrust. And distrust will quickly and surely break the bonds of any relationship. I mean, is it possible that your lover is in bed with another person? Are they humping someone else's brains out as we speak? It's possible, you know. It's even likely. Infidelity is rampant these days, even in the most trustworthy men and women. When presidents cheat on their wives, when the clergy fucks little boys, and when psychologists sell sex tapes to the media, who can you trust? Me. You can trust me. You can trust me because I have a gun pointed at your crotch and therefore have no reason to lie. Your lover is currently at your apartment, fucking the brains out of the first stranger who happened to knock on your door this morning. They've been fucking all day. They'll fuck the next two if you let them. They've done things even God couldn't and wouldn't name. Acts that so defile the sanctity of humanity, and they're doing them in your bed. They're doing them on the quilt your grandmother made you when you graduated college. They don't plan on washing it. Question 2. Do you believe me? If you believe me, I'll give you this gun and you can go home right now and shoot them both between their lying eyes. If you don't, then I'll call the waitress over and we can get another cup of coffee. You take milk in yours, right? No? Not milk? Waitress! Do you want to know why you didn't believe me? Well, it's not because my story is so implausible. Truth be told, things like that happen all the time. They happen to good people, like you. No, the reason you believe me is because you have faith. Despite logic and modern circumstance, you have absolute faith in your partner to remain faithful despite the prevalence of adultery. Good for you. Faith is important. And I want you to relax. I'm not mad at you for not trusting me. Faith supersedes trust. Trust requires proof, which leads to scrutiny, which ultimately leads to distrust. More often than not, I find myself asking, quite often out loud, if anyone really trusts anyone. I'm often disappointed with the answers I get, but faith is special by its very definition. Faith is the belief in something without any shred of evidence. It believes you can believe, even if there is no trust. Look at how many people believe in God without a single solitary piece of substantiation. Faith is why con artists are still in business, and, as my grandfather always said, the oldest profession may be prostitution, but the second oldest is grifting because someone had to get it without paying or none of us would. He wasn't much of a poet. Were any of our grandfathers? Question 3. Is there more than one bullet in this gun? I know it doesn't really matter, but considering the gun is leveled at your crotch instead of, say, your heart, there's always a chance you might survive a single gunshot wound. Hell, they might even be able to fix your junk. You could lead a relatively normal life, spending your days telling your future lovers all about that scar to the left of your wobbly bits. So what do you think? Is there more than one bullet in this gun? You're goddamn right there isn't. If I catch you looking sideways at that couple in the corner over there again, you will find out the hard way. What do you think it's like to get shot, anyway? I've never been shot myself, so I have no clue, but I imagine it's pretty painful, especially at this range. The bullet coming out of the gun, and less than an instant later is tearing through your flesh like the white-hot sword tip of an angel. It's amazing how something so small can do so much damage. I'm amazed more people don't carry them. It's an intense feeling of power. You see, at any minute, I could end your life. or his, or hers, or theirs. If I had enough bullets and determination, I could end the life of every person on this planet. And I believe, with perfect faith, that every person who carries a gun walks around with that exact same knowledge. Makes you wonder why God gave swords to his angels instead of a MAC-10, am I right? Oh, Adam and Eve, you went back into the Garden of Eden? Bang! No humans. You see in movies and TV how angels hate our guts because we have free will and they don't. But I bet if they could get their heavenly hands on a magnum, they wouldn't hate us so much. It's my belief, as I trust it is yours, that when you have the power, you have no real reason to hate anymore. It's that feeling of helplessness and the desire to rise above it that creates hate. Imagine how much better this world would be if everyone had a gun. Imagine how quickly peace would reign if everyone held everyone else's life in their hands. Because no matter how many times you eyeball that couple in the corner, begging them for help with your eyes, even though the only thing she cares about is his car, and the only thing he cares about is her tits, so do you really think they're paying any attention to you? I can't bring myself to hate you. And ultimately, I don't think I can kill you. Well, not with the gun I have in my hand, because knowing that I can is good enough for me, and it's all I need to get through my day. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit, and maybe you'll get home in time to catch your lover making merry with a delivery person. So, last question. Is there really a second gun? And stop. No. Stop. Don't nod your head at me. The game is over. Just listen. If you believe there's a second gun positioned at the door of this diner, then all you have to do is stay here forever. It's 24 hours, so it's not like they won't be open. You can live here, eat here. You can probably pester the cook into giving you a job. There's a bathroom and a mop sink so you can bathe, wash your clothes, take care of all the essentials. You can probably call someone to bring you a bar of soap and a razor, but you will spend the rest of your life living in fear because you believe what I've told you. You trust that I'm telling you the truth because of the gun pointed at you now. And you have faith in the idea that if fired at you, the bullet will hit you. Or you don't, and you walk out that door. Maybe you live, maybe you die, but you do it on your own terms. No one commanded you to leave, and no one is telling you that you have to stay. Where's your faith? Where's your trust? And where are your beliefs? Are they with the fat man in the beer bottle, or the doctor in the third world country? Doesn't matter to me. I'm leaving. Miles to go before I sleep. Do you like Robert Frost? I'm a big fan. A big fan who is walking out the store right now. There are no guns on me, kid. I'm free. Are you?